Hey guys, welcome back to probably the first RC video I've done on this channel in probably a year, year and a half, I don't know. This right here, my sister actually picked up. This and this whole lot of mostly junk, to be honest, but it's cool junk. And there's a bunch of gears and stuff in there I think I can use for stuff. So I can't really tell you where she got all this because some people might be mad that it was just given away. But let me preface, this wasn't stolen, obviously. I don't even know why I have to preface that, but it's not. This right here was probably used as like a, I don't know, some kids to learn on or something. I don't even know. Like in my high school, I had a drones class. It didn't last very long because the whole semester they learned how to build drones for some reason, and none of them flew. I wasn't in this class, but I watched like the flying day that they had, and it didn't work out good. Yeah, so she picked this up. I don't think it's ever been driven. It looks like maybe a group of kids they were trying to learn like how cars worked. I don't even know what this would be for. They took it apart to try to learn how to fix it, and it never got put back together. I really don't think this was ever driven. I may be wrong. You can see somebody that didn't know what they was doing, or I don't even know because this wheel is on backwards. I don't even know how you begin to mess that up because there's a hexagon that matches this hexagon. Anyways, so from my research, I mean I looked at the wing. This is a Losi Mini 8. This is like a scaled down version of a. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this wheel off while I'm talking to y'all because it's kind of aggravating me. This is like it's a brushless. It can actually run up to 3S. A little micro buggy based off the full size Losi 8. I think it's 8 with an 8 in front of the 8, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, I did a little bit of research on this. These buggers right here were pretty expensive when they released. I want to say they was like around $225-ish. I watched a video by Ultimate RC. If any of y'all have been around the hobby for a while, I never watched him, but I've discovered his channel. It's this huge like RC channel that the guy just stopped uploading. I found a video where he reviewed this like 10 years ago. The guy didn't stop uploading. I think if you go to his channel, this is getting off on a tangent, but if you go to his channel, I think he mentions that all the RC places around him have closed down, and he couldn't find a place to drive them, which is just crazy because, I don't know, it's a different situation for everybody, but like, man, if I just have a driveway, I'm happy with that. But he may not even have a driveway. I don't know. Anyways, that guy did a review on this. And I think it's a little bit interesting. The channel I did watch as a kid was Jang Bricks, which is a guy who reviewed Lego sets and stuff. That's the same dude, and I had no idea. I remember getting made fun of by my parents because I was watching it. There was a grown man reviewing Lego sets, and to them that was baffling. Of course, that was before they knew what the YouTube was, I guess. This was like 2010. See, now YouTube's mainstream everywhere. Anyways, I'm just going to be going through this box. So bad news is that we only have 3 out of the 4 wheels. And these wheels right here, this is another reason I'm saying like this was never driven that much because those wheels are brand new. I only have 3 of them. I've got 2 rears and 1 front because they are different. So I've got the ESC, which is exciting because, I don't know, that's not the cheapest thing to have to afford for a car. It's not the worst, but I like that. That's there. This is the middle brace that was taken off for some reason. It's got this little slot for the spur gear right here, so I know that goes like that. Don't have any of the hardware except for the hardware I do have, which is 2, I guess. I got the wing, which is what told me to research this as a Losi. And I've got the receiver. I don't use Spectrum receivers because from our little experience and excursion of flying planes, we're still really big into flying planes. We just haven't done it in a while. Yeah, not the best experiences out of Spectrum. It's pretty cool when you just, you're puttering along real good, real nice, like you always do, and your plane just like loses signal and keeps going the way it was going until it just nosedives into a ground. That makes you move off the Spectrum real quick. And we got a battery right here, which I'm sure is still... Yeah, it's dead. I guarantee you it's dead. And I know there's a lot of people that like say like, oh, that Spectrum doesn't cause brownouts. It's called a brownout when your plane just loses signal. We switched to Radio Link, never had an issue with it. So we're flying at the same filter we used to. We need to get back into that. We've got way too much money in RC planes over there to not use them. This right here, ain't got no clue what it is. It is something. It's got some gears and stuff on it. It's got a motor. I don't know. I could probably use something off of it one day. The reason I'm going through this box is because I know that there is some screws and stuff that might go to this car. Other than that, there's nothing really that interesting in here. Ain't got a clue what that is. That looks like it's part of a projector. Because there's a little thing in there. I don't know. So, on this little Mini 8, I am missing one wheel. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm missing all of the wheels because older cars like this, you're probably not going to find these. Actually, you can. I didn't look on eBay. But for the price, forgot to put these up. So for the price, I went on the Amazon, and I just got a whole new set that I think is going to look a lot cooler. And I just realized, looking through that little tote, I only have one wheel nut. So we can put one tire on today, or one wheel and tire on today. But these are what I bought. I think they look pretty good. It's like a steely almost. These were, I think, $12 for 4 of them. So it's like a street tire. So from what I read, is that you can get a majority of parts still for this car, except for the differentials. These differentials are like gold. Like they're like $60 to $100 a piece if they're good. And like I said, this haven't been driven very much. So as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, all of these, or I say like all, like there's more than 2. Both of these diffs are golden. So I don't really want to put sand paddle tires on this car and go strip both of these out instantly. So I think this is going to stick to the road mostly, just as like a little car to put around the YMCA parking lot. So that's what these are for. And I read that, again, from that Ultimate RC video I watched a review on this, I read that he thought that these wheels were a little bit too big for this scale of buggy. They're a bit too tall, so it made it be like a little bit top heavy. So it just so happened that these are not a little bit. It's a lot of bit shorter of a tire. So that should help with that a little bit. That wasn't really planned. It just so happened that they were a little bit shorter. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find some wheel nuts. Maybe I've got a car over there I can rob them off of for the time being. And I am missing the body. So I went on the eBay, and I'm pretty sure you can still get like Losi bodies for this thing. But I found this one. I'll put a picture up of the eBay listing right here because it's kind of hard to imagine, this right now. I thought, hey, that looked pretty cool. So picked one of them up. It's like $20. I messaged the seller on eBay because I misread the listing. Actually, I didn't even do that. Listen to what I did. So I ordered this and I went back to the listing because I thought, hey, this came with this pictured a wing in the listing, like a wing, like one of these, and it looked pretty cool. But when I got this, it didn't have one with it. So what I did was there's 2 listings, one with a wing, one without. I ordered the one without a wing, and then I went back to the listing that had a wing, and I was like, what the crap, where's my wing at? So yeah. So we're going to be using the stock wing, which is fine. And I really wanted to match the paint scheme. As you can see, that's the reason I got black wheels, is to try to match that car, because I really liked it in the eBay listing. That was actually on some Tamiya M chassis wheels, I'm pretty sure. So I went to my local hobby shop. So I went there with the plan of getting some gray to try to just rebuild that car like to a T. And he had a gray there that I thought would match pretty good, but I walked out with the purple. I don't know why. Keep in mind though, that's the cheapest Tamiya spray paint I've seen in a while. Like $7 for that can? Sure. As far as the electronics that came with it, I'm going to use probably just the ESC. I use Flash Sky receivers for my cars because they're cheap. So I'll probably order one of those. Okay, and just like that, somehow or another, I absolutely found every single screw that was missing out of that tote, like first try. So, yeah. There's that little center brace in. That actually, I don't know, it helped the car a whole lot. It looked like it was missing something before, and I guess it's because it was. So, before I work on a body, I think, I don't even know why I want to do this. I just know, I see that I can. And I think it'd be kind of cool to do, like, make it kind of like more of a road car, I guess. I don't know. But these rear arms right here, these are designed I think. I've just been looking. I haven't done any research on this. These are designed to be able to flip around and extend your wheelbase a little bit. I think I want to do that. I don't know why. I just kind of saw that as soon as I picked up the car and said, hey, that would look cool. So I think all I have to do is take all this apart, obviously. This little link right here is going to have to go towards the back, and then the shock is going to have to go here. And then after that, I see no reason I can't flip this arm and extend this a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do one side off camera just to see. And if it doesn't work out, I'm not even going to put this section in the video, so you'll never know. Okay, so I did one side, and I don't think I discovered anything. So looking at, so this was the Mini 8, and released it was a Mini 8T, which is a truggy. And that has what looks like it's the same rear arms, but they're flipped like mine is right now, or one side is. So the one that is flipped is the one with the wheel on it. You can see I don't think I got something right because this is at a weird angle and it's actually contacting my wheel. Before it wasn't. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that. I think I'm just going to go back to how it was. Only because the Mini T, not Mini T, that's a completely different car. The Mini 8T has this weird rear toe like in thing that to me that looks like it's just going to be fighting the car going down the road. I'm sure on this one they did it for a reason. And sure enough, on mine when I flipped it, it did the same thing. You can see it's actually, you can see the wheelbase I gained. This gained a little bit more toe in. This side did, yeah. And I think that's just going to eat up tires and fight the car. So I think I want to flip it back to how it was. Okay, so believe it or not, I've got a little set over there that is nothing but M3 hardware. And it just so happened that's what these are. Now I don't have any like lock nuts or like nylon lock nuts. So these might loosen over time. But I've literally got like 500 over there I ordered off of Amazon. So I could double nut these if I need to. Or I could just, you know, run it and see what happens. But I do have the hardware. I like those wheels. They look pretty good. I won't be doing that all night. I won't get an ounce of sleep. So I'm going to play around with suspension and everything. Because I kind of want it to sit a little bit lower. Maybe not. I don't know what I want. I do know that... Why is my phone doing it? I've never seen this screen in my life. What is that? I went to go check the time and this is what showed up. What? Okay, anyways. How do I get rid of that? What? Okay, now it's giving me a slideshow. What is happening? When does... What? Anyways, okay, it is 10:07. That's what I wanted to find out. I think I'm going to get a body cut. Just set it on here. I wanted to get it kind of painted today, but I'm still not real sure what I want to do with color yet, so I don't think I'm going to do that.
Obviously, we couldn't not look at the Honda City Turbo. It's going for a little change at the moment. This is for a while yet, because there's a particular time of the release of the video.
Okay. That's fun. I've got plenty of cars with oil shocks. I don't know why I'm impressed by that. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Okay, so I've got this cut to where actually I like it a lot. I still got to work on the mounting system, but let me figure out how to get this in the frame. Yeah, it kind of, I mean, that goes on fairly simple. Actually, I like the design of this body. I could have got like a factory looking one, or what would come with it, but this, I don't know, this one tickles my fancy. I saw on the listing, I got it off eBay, I think from Warren. Let me look it up, because these guys are pretty nice. They handled my stupidity when I emailed them saying that, you know, I'm missing the wing out of it. They're like, no, you're stupid. Warren RC, there you go. Not a big fan of how they package it, to be honest. It came in just it says in the listing it's going to come in a bubble mailer, and that offers no protection whatsoever. I think I will leave a review on this. And this body right here got crunched. If you can even see that. That just happened in the mailing because there was no protection. Like, if the mailman wanted to, stick his elbow right through it, there's nothing stopping him. And something crunched it and creased this. I kind of wish I took a picture before I cut it, because now, I don't know, somebody could look at the picture in my review and say, oh, you did that when you cut it out. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate on that, but so tomorrow, because it's fixing to be bedtime, and I also still need to edit a video for my other channel for tonight, because it's Thursday and I try to get videos out on Thursdays for it. Tomorrow I'm going to trim up all these edges a little bit nicer. I'm not going to record any of that because it's just me going over it. Sanding it down and washing it, the inside of the body. And I think we can get some paint on this bad boy. I am going to have to brainstorm a paint scheme. I haven't figured that part out yet, but yeah, there's progress for today. That's pretty good, seeing as this thing was just like a little bare chassis when I got it. Okay, well, I'm just kidding. I said I was going to go back upstairs, take a shower, edit a video. That video can wait, because I kept trying to make a design, and the longer I did, I just stayed down here longer. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sleep until I at least get like the first coat or the first color on here. So I'm still down here, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, fast forward a little bit. I've been kind of experimenting with designs. I'm going to go with a purple for majority of it. So how this works, I think, is you do the darkest color first. So I'm going to do purple here for the most of it. And then I'm going to do blue here on the bottom, kind of like sweeping down with the body line. And then in the middle, I marked out, or taped out, there's going to be a little gap between the purple and the blue. I'm going to put silver in there. Got all these right here. The silver and blue I already had here from my that TTO2 over there. So I taped all that off for the silver. I was like, that looks good. And then I realized as soon as I started overlaying this, that's just going to rip all that off. So I'm going to go back and redo it. I've got this tape right here that I ordered off the Amazon. It's just like, kind of reminds you of frog tape, but the only reason it's reminding me of that is because it's green. It's actually pretty decent. It's like split up into different lengths or widths, I mean. And this little narrow run right here is awesome for taping off designs and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do super light coats, I think. That's the plan, at least. What I'm trying to do is not lay it on thick to minimize running down and creeping up behind the tape lines. Okay, so it's the next day. This paint is dry. So I'm going to attempt to peel it off, or peel the tape off. Hopefully not peel the paint off. There's one side. That's not too bad. I'd show you the outside, which I will anyways. But I was trying to mess around with a Sharpie and try to get some designs. So that's still on there. Okay, so I taped where I want the blue to be and where I want the silver to be. Actually, I didn't tape the blue. I taped where the silver would be. And then I'm going to spray this blue. I didn't know what the purple would do if I got the blue behind it. I was worried I was going to change the color of it, where it was kind of going on pretty light. So I taped everything up in here. This is something that everybody got in their mailbox a couple months ago. This is just like political ads that we saved because it's really nice poster board kind of. It just so happened that I cut out her face. We used that to mask up stuff that we paint because it's we were getting like 3 a day and they were really good material for this. And before you say anything, like, of course you use Kamala's face to paint with. No, this is Trump's right here too. So yeah, I use both. I am indiscriminate of whose face I use to mask off stuff or paint. And I'm not showing you, but there's the first layer of blue. It's kind of what it's going to look like. I am holding it this way because if I hold it, I'm thinking if I hold it that way, it's going to stand a better chance of running up in the paint lines. If I hold it this way, it's literally going to have to fight gravity to, bleed into the tape line. So Maybe that does something, I don't know. Okay, so the backing color is silver. I literally just sprayed this like 2 seconds ago, but I am impatient and I want to take this covering off here because I want to see what this thing looks like. I can already see it's bled through in a couple areas, like the purple into where the silver was that I didn't see, but it's fine. That's what stickers are for, because you can make a cool racing livery out of it, and you can also cover up mistakes. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good actually. Colors turned out really nice. I still don't know how to feel about that silver. See it bled through right there, but it's okay. I thought it would look good. I thought it would, like I mentioned earlier in this video, I thought it would look good with a yellow stripe, but now I'm not sure. To be honest, I don't even know if I prefer that stripe. Back here it looks cool where it kind of tapers in. And I guess when you're driving it, you're going to be looking right here anyways because you're above the car. On the sides, maybe I got too thick of a silver, like a silver line, I mean. I don't know. Okay, so we've fast forwarded a little bit. This body is completely dry. And I've figured out a way to mount it, as you can probably see here on the side. Right here. That seems pretty simple, but actually I think it works out really nice. So I'll show you here in a second. It's just a M3 screw sticking out, or a bolt sticking out the side, and you can spin it like that, and you literally just, that is pretty easy. Do the same thing over here, and then this gets kind of concerning, but yeah, that's it. You can see how I did that. I did have to drill into the chassis, but it's just these little side pieces which are replaceable, so, you know, sure. And I had a little bit of issue. This area right here just kept getting worse. That's where the postage probably karate chopped it because the place didn't package it. And I had like a weird little cracking in my silver right here. I don't even know what that is. That may be in the plastic too. So what I did is I got some of this stuff. I just found it over there with the rest of the tape. Something just flew from somewhere. And I reinforced the sides where I knew I was going to be messing around with it. Putting the body on and off. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I didn't think the wing fitted at all. Just because the just yellow decals kind of stick out like a sore thumb, and it doesn't match with any of the rest of it. So I dug through my sticker box. And I can probably find more. I haven't looked through everything, but I found this sticker sheet, which got some decals. The blue and yellow is going to work out perfect. And little number plaques. Probably going to sticker this up somehow or another. Just try to make the wing match. I'm not going to do that on camera because I think this video is already getting pretty long, and I'm literally just putting stickers on. So you can imagine how that process is going. Okay, so we're going to have to make a sacrifice. Let's keep our thoughts and prayers into my WPL B24. I think this is the first time I've ever showed this on this channel. I absolutely love WPL RC cars, which is hilarious because this is the only one I have. That's not true. I've got a D, whatever the little K truck is. I've got that. I haven't messed with it much. I've been planning on doing like a little drift build with it, but I paid like $80 for this thing. And, you know, of course, these WPLs, if you don't know, they come in like a kit, like a, I don't know, like a Tamiya would, I guess. I've put way too much money into it. I've got metal axles. I got a 2-speed transmission in this sucker. I love this truck. You can see I haven't took very good care of it because there's still sand all over it from the beach I took it to. I built a little cover for it. I've got tires and stuff in the back. Actually, in here is where the ESC is, because I couldn't fit it under here. But it seems like every time I need a receiver, I always steal it out of this truck. And today's going to be no different. Oh crap, there's still a battery in there. Oops. Probably should have been. I probably would have been looking for that. That's been in there since the beach trip. That's been over a year. Yeah, I always steal the battery out of the, not the battery, the receiver out of this, and I always feel bad. But right now this is hot glued in there. I think in the future, Especially like cars like this where I'm just building it for fun. I'm not having a lot of money into it. I don't see me running it all that often, so I am going to put some Velcro on this next time. That way I can swap it over more easily. Right now this is just hot glued in there. Yeah, it's a shame that this one always gets taken out of, or the receiver gets taken out of it, because it's super easy to get to. Because I really like this truck, I just don't run it that much. I finally got it to where it doesn't break every time I run it, and I still don't run it. So what I'm saying is, WPO, if you want to sponsor me, I like your trucks. You're like top 10, top 5 RC companies to me. Look, I even made little mud flaps and stuff out of this thing. It's cute looking. Okay, here's the finished exterior. I think it looks pretty nice. I added some Tamiya stickers I had laying around. That sticker came with the body. It doesn't really match the paint scheme, but I just kind of like the word fat with a PH. I think that's just funny for some reason. Of course, you can't feel this, but it is a little bit heavier now because this has full electronics in it. Like you just saw, I took the receiver out of my B24, and yeah, I have stuffed a bunch of electronics in this bad boy. So let's take a look at that. So as you see right here, I think the ESC is actually supposed to go on this rail right here. Not that it's probably going to matter, but I wanted it as low as possible to try to help with CG. So I stuck it on the servo right here. Yeah, it's about an inch lower than it would be if it was on top. I kind of ran the wires right here neatly. I did them by color, and it's kind of going to make me upset if, the motor ends up spinning backwards and I have to flip one of these. That's just going to be unfortunate because I've already tidied them up, or I think they look pretty good. Fly Sky servo right here in the back. I put it on Velcro like I said I was going to do. That way I can take it out. Left these wires loose. That way I could plug it back in if I ever want to run this car. Well, obviously after I get done running it for this video. That's what I meant. And right now the antenna is just kind of hanging out downstairs, back in the back. It is 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime. Running it, I've got a 2-cell LiPo. This ESC will run a 3-cell, but for the sake of the diffs, I don't think I'm going to run it 3-cell. I'm not going to baby this car around, but I want to take care of it. And just for testing purposes, I've got my dad's transmitter right here. I'm not going to run this car on this because this thing weighs like 14 million pounds. But it should be good enough to test with, so I got to figure out how to bind to this. Whoa, okay. I always get this mixed up. That's why I had it on a little thing right here. I've got channel 1 and channel 2 mixed up. Okay. That is moving a lot. Watch that spur here. That moves quite a bit. I think he's got some juice though. Yeah, that's going to be looked into. And you can see right there, that's not right at all. So what it is I think right here, there's supposed to be like a little cap or cover for this bearing to lock it in while this is on. But if you remember, this was missing. Well, it wasn't missing, but it was off of the car when I got it. So I'm assuming this piece is just like lost to time, I guess. So I'm gonna have to make something to keep it from doing that. I did look in the box, it's not there, so I'm just gonna have to get creative with that. Looked in my little drawer over there, saw I had some strips of wood that I don't even know where I got. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just all super glued together, but believe it or not, that works pretty well. Okay, so remember how much that moved before? No movement at all. I did check the gear mesh, it's fine. I think that sounds pretty good. Maybe not good. I've got a Traxxas Slash over there that's been through It's been through a lot, and it sounds a lot worse than this. So maybe this thing's got metal gears in it, you know? No, probably not. Wait, that's plastic. I don't know. That sounds a heck of a lot better than it did before. And there's no movement from that. Okay, so I've got the tires glued. Before, they were ballooning to the point where they were like, you know, causing an awful vibration. But maybe the mesh is off a little bit. I don't know, but I think it sounds reasonable. But I'm going to charge this transmitter right here. I'm going to throw the body back on, of course. And I'm actually going to go run this tomorrow. So I'm going to finish this video out like that. And yeah, I've got like maybe 40 bucks in this thing total. But yeah, here's some running footage. I'm planning on doing some more RC content on this channel in the future. So yeah. So consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.